Guys and girls, it's starting to look like the Golden State Warriors are going to do it again. If you didn't watch today's game, it was absolutely amazing seeing Golden State win, and I think today's win was actually a very convincing game to show that the Golden State Warriors are going to do it again and win the NBA Finals. Now, what we're going to do in today's episode, we're going to be talking about 5 key reasons why this NBA championship means a lot, not only to the Golden State team, but also to the individual players. So reason number 1 is that this NBA championship will be the first for a couple of the players in Golden State Warriors. Now, to name a few is Damian Lee. We also have Jordan Poole, Otto Porter Jr. We have players like Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond who have won multiple, but for a couple of the others, it is actually their first time, even Jonathan Kuminga and also James Wiseman, to name a few. And I think it's fantastic to see that these players are going to be, especially at an early age, winning their first NBA championship and, making it to the NBA Finals. And a lot of the players that I have mentioned, they're not only just sitting on the bench and getting a free ring, they are actually heavily involved in taking down the Boston Celtics. And I think it's fantastic for this young core group, especially in the years to come. As you all know, Steph Curry is one of the oldest players on this team. And once, the main big three of Draymond, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry are gone, it's great to have the youngins start taking over and start being an impact early on in their career. So I think it's fantastic, not only for the long term, but also just to see these young players and their careers actually take off. We all know Jordan Poole had a crazy half-court shot in today's game. It was honestly insane to see, but all in all, I think it's honestly fantastic for the team to win this championship, especially for the younger players who haven't won a ring just yet. So I think that's great on their part. But let's get into reason number 2, because reason number 2 is that Steph Curry has the possibility to win his first NBA Finals MVP. Now, a lot of people have said this time and time again that Steph Curry isn't an NBA Finals MVP type player. However, in this series, he is definitely showing that. Now, it is very hard because I do think in his first NBA championship, even though Andre Iguodala did deserve the MVP, Steph Curry was definitely second to that. Of course, Andre Iguodala was the one that locked up LeBron, so I do see why they gave the MVP there. And when it came to the Kevin Durant era, it is obvious that you're obviously going to give it to Kevin Durant. And although that team was super stacked, it was definitely evident that Steph Curry did take a back seat in order for Kevin Durant to shine, and on top of that, it would help him win the NBA Finals MVP. But this series, or this year, it is all Steph Curry, okay? Steph Curry is the leader. He's the one that is going to change the outcome of each and every single game, and I think that's what he has been showing as of lately. So first game, he actually had 34 points. Game 2, he had 29 points. So right now, he's averaging 31.5 points per game. That is honestly insane to see, guys. He's putting up some great stats. He's also averaging 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 3 steals, and only 2 turnovers. So he's putting up some great numbers and also some really efficient shooting. In the 3-point percentage, he's actually averaging 46%. 46%, guys, okay? That is honestly insane to see. Now, when it comes to field goal, he's averaging 45%. So he's actually shooting better from the 3 than he is on a normal layup or a normal mid-range 2 shot. But his free throw is a little bit stagnant. I don't really know what's happening in these series. It's actually happened this whole playoffs, but Steph Curry in this series is actually only averaging 81.8% from the free throw line, which is not honestly great. He's usually definitely in the 90s, so it's pretty surprising to actually say that, but maybe he's getting out of the rhythm and he's starting to figure out what's going on. But when it comes to Steph Curry, I think it is honestly fantastic that this is his year, and if they do win the NBA Finals, no doubt it is definitely going to Steph Curry for his first MVP. And I think, to be honest, after winning this MVP, you definitely have to put him in the conversation of a top 5 player. As you all know, he is the most 3 points made on any player in the NBA, and also on top of that, he has the rings to back it up and the individual stats to also back it up as well. So you definitely got to put him in that top 5 conversation if he gets this ring, because I think Steph Curry is a great player and he also changed the game like no other. And speaking of top 5, Steph Curry averaging 31.5 points per game in this series so far would actually put him in 5th place for the most career points per game in the NBA Finals. We actually have have Rick Barry at the top with 36.3 points. We have Iverson at 35.6. We have Giannis with his great performance last year with 35.2. We have Jordan with 33.6. And then we have Steph Curry right now hovering just above Jerry West at 31.5. So I think that's honestly great to see that when it comes to what he actually is achieving, he is doing the best of the best. Now let's go on to reason number 3. Now reason number 3 is that in the 2019 and 2020 NBA season, they actually had the worst record in the league with a 15-50 record. Guys, 2019-2020, they had the worst win percentage. They actually had a win percentage of 23%. That is honestly ridiculous, and to see them, a couple of years later actually doing what they are doing, which is almost about to win the NBA Finals. So, they have come a very, very long way, and I think it's honestly great to see that they have come from the absolute bottom all the way to the absolute top in the span of 2 seasons. So, that wasn't really a great year with Klay Thompson being out, Steph Curry being a majority out of it, and Draymond Green playing only here and there. And also a lot of their young players were just getting started and getting involved in how it's like playing in the NBA. So to see them develop, not only the core team come back when it comes to Steph, Klay, and also Draymond, but to also see the young players that did develop during these seasons actually become really, really special and really an important piece to the series and also to these playoffs runs. So I think that's honestly fantastic to see, guys. It's honestly great that, seeing Golden State Warriors come from nothing all the way to something in a span of 2 seasons. That's honestly great to see. So, kudos to them for being able to do that. Now, reason number 4 is actually a huge one, and this is one is more historical, but if they actually win this, the Golden State Warriors would actually be the 3rd best team with the most NBA championships. So we actually have Lakers, who actually have 17 championships. We have Boston Celtics, who actually have 17 championships as well. And then we have Chicago Bulls, who have 6, and then the Warriors, who have 6 as well. So if they win this, this would actually put Golden State Warriors above Chicago Bulls, and it would actually make them 3rd best winningest team in the NBA in history. So I think that's honestly great. Now, if Boston Celtics actually win this series as well, they would actually put them at the top, as them and Lakers are actually tied. They have been an ongoing battle with Lakers. We all know the Celtics, the Lakers, they're both 2 of the biggest organizations ever since history. So to see them to do what they are going to do, it is honestly fantastic. But when it comes to Warriors, it would actually put them over the Chicago Bulls, which is honestly a very interesting stat. And it really just does show the history of Golden State Warriors and also Steph Curry and all those players combined. So, when it comes to all that, I think that's honestly great to see. Now, reason number 5 is actually more of a heartfelt one, but this one is seeing Klay Thompson back in action. Now, as you all know, Klay Thompson didn't have the best of the last 2 seasons. He came back, got injured, came back, got injured, and it was really tough for him to finally make his way. And yes, he may not be at full potential, but I think it's honestly great to have him still on the team because he still provides some great numbers, not only for the team, but also, spacing out the floor, giving Steph Curry space, and being another threat. So you definitely saw that in today's game as well. And, it had them develop Jordan Poole, it had them develop Gary Payton, all those great players. So seeing Klay Thompson being able to be back on top in such a short amount of time, I think is a very heartfelt thing, and a lot of you guys would understand that too, especially if you're a Golden State Warriors fan. So now I also did want to talk about today's game because it was honestly very interesting to watch. So as you all know, the Golden State Warriors did somewhat blow them out 88-107, and this should have been the score from game 1 to be honest, but Boston Celtics did put up a great fight in game 1. But when it comes to the team stats, we saw that they actually shot very similar amounts of field goals attempted. Now, Celtics did actually shoot a little bit worse this game with the 37% field goal percentage, with Warriors having 45. 3-point percentage was also identical at 40.5% at each individual teams. We also had free throw percentage roughly the same, 76.5% for Celtics and 70% for Warriors. And we also saw that roughly the same amount of rebounds. Steals, however, was where we saw Warriors really shine. They actually had 15 steals in this game, with Celtics only having 5. And, supposedly Celtics have the defensive player of the year, but that's for another topic. But when it comes to what they have done, it is honestly great to see. Turnovers, they actually had less than Celtics, so they actually only had 12 for Warriors and 18 for Celtics. And when it comes to player stats, we all know about Steph Curry's great performance in today's game, but we also saw some great performances from Andrew Wiggins, who had 11 points, Klay had 11, Kevon actually had 12, and Jordan Poole, who got himself 17 points and a highlight that will probably go down as one of the greatest buzzer beater shots in history. But, speaking of that, great performance from Golden State Warriors. Boston Celtics side, 28 points from Tatum. We had 17 by Jaylen Brown. Derek White had 12 points, which was really great, but he was shooting a bit bad from the field goal with 4 from 13. So Boston did put up a good fight, and this is what I'm talking about. Golden State Warriors, when it comes to paper, when it comes to the way they play, if Golden State Warriors play at full potential and 100%, they are not going to lose this series, okay? Celtics need to take advantage of the little stuff-ups that Warriors have in order for them to actually win, and it does look like in the long term, Warriors are the ones that are going to come out on top. But thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. Hope you did enjoy, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Peace.